Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to Cooking with Pouncy. Tonight I'm going to make some chili con carne. All I know is that they don't put beans in their chili in Texas, and that's okay too. And anyway, I think this one's called chili con carne because of the bean factor. I'm going to lower my camera in just a little bit here, and then we'll start that process. What I'm doing here. I've got 2 pounds to this batch of chili. I've got 2 pounds of, almost 2 pounds of ground beef. It's pretty lean, 85-15, 85 lean, 15% fat. That's a pretty good ratio. I might or might not have to skim any fat off of that meat as it cooks, okay? When I get it braised and ready for my onions and green peppers here. But again, I just want to run through what I'm going to do with this. A couple of pounds, I guess I said. I've got some dark and red, light red kidney beans. I'm going to use 4 cans, 1 light and it's going to be 2 light and 2 darks of the beans. I'm going to use some red pepper, just a little bit of ground red pepper, not too much, just to taste. Obviously, I'm going to use some chili powder. You can use whatever chili powder you want. I don't like really spicy food, and so I won't be adding, other than that, a little bit of red cayenne pepper to taste. Okay, I'm going to be using some tomato paste. I've got a little garlic salt here. I've got some coarse ground black pepper. Got some regular salt. I've got some bay leaves here. I thought I had some oregano, but I don't. But I'll drop a couple of bay leaves in this mixture. I've got a little cumin here, and I've got some olive oil, which is what I'm going to use, about a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half to get that meat started. In my pan, I've got an 8-quart kettle I'm going to make this in. I'm going to use beef stock. Certainly no water whatsoever. If I need any liquid, and I will need some liquid, but I'll be using regular beef stock. Of course, of course, you can buy this beef stock with no salt in it, but this has salt in it. So anyway, I'll be using some of this stuff here for my liquid, and I will be using an amount. I don't know how much yet, but you can find that in the ingredient list when this thing is over. So I'm going to now start do my onions and my green peppers. And then I'll get my meat, but I think I'll get my meat started before I shave my gloves off here. And I'll get that started so it can start cooking behind me here while I'm doing my green pepper and my onions. And when this is about 3/4 done, these 2 hamburger deals here, about 3/4 done, I'm going to then add my onions and green pepper in that order. And so that's started. I think that's all I need to tell you about with that deal there. I didn't put any oil in there, but I'm going to put some in there right now as I peel off this one glove here, because I felt my hand touch that meat, okay? And I'm always conscious about cross-contamination. So I'm just going to put, again, about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil in there. And there you have it. Just to get that meat started. I'm going to have it on about a medium-high. And it's already starting to simmer behind me there, which is a good thing. And I use this is what I use, and you'll be seeing some of this too when I get over to the range with it. I use this whip here. I've got several. This one is really flexible. And this is what I use to break up my hamburger. It works very, very well. You can use a spoon or fork or whatever you'd like to use, but this is my old standby here, and it's pretty flimsy, and flimsy as in it's very flexible. But I'll be breaking up that meat as fine as I want to do with this whisk here. So anyway, it's starting to sizzle, as you may not be able to hear it, and that's good. because now I'm going to do my green pepper, and I'm taking the membrane out of the green pepper. And the seeds as well. You might have seen that, I hope. And I'm gonna probably use half of this green pepper. I don't want too much of a green pepper flavor in this. I'm gonna use half of this green pepper instead of the whole thing. I think I will use the entire onion. That's a large onion, okay? So I'm gonna do this with the green pepper. And I'll just have some green pepper pieces in here so as not to overpower anything. So sometimes I don't put green pepper in chili, depending on what I'm making. Maybe I won't have any green pepper. I've cut that up. I'm not trying to mince it. I'm just trying to cut it up to a degree where it's pretty small pieces, all right? Which is what I just did with that. Now I'm going to do my onion. And I think I'm going to do, my goodness, I keep doing quick lessons with stuff. Guys, you don't have to, I think you can see, you don't have to do your onion, I'm turning the knife backwards. You don't have to do your onion like this. You see me, you don't have to go like this with your onion to the back, and then turn it around and go like this. You really don't. Mother Nature's already done that for you. This onion runs like this, okay? I've seen a lot of videos where they teach you, they're telling you to cut your onion like this first, and then you turn it around and you start cutting. You really don't. All the lines are going like this. This is how the onion grows. Mother Nature did that already, all right? So all you really have to do then with your cuts is to come here this way. I'm going to make it a little bigger. And then you go like this. And that's all you have to do with that onion. That's all you have to do. Okay, and I'm gonna put half of this piece in there, so 3/4 of an onion, all right? That's what I'm gonna do. 3/4 is gonna be plenty. I use onion for a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna do this one here, same way. And that's the butt end of it, I don't want that part, but these are already ready to go in that chili, all right? But you can probably hear this. Let me turn my light on here so I can see it better, I think. So, you can probably hear it. And again, here's my little flimsy whip here, or whisk. And here's what that meat looks like thus far. Think you can see that maybe? There's very little fat in here too, because even at 85-15, I don't see any fat accumulating in the bottom of it here. And if there's any fat, it will come to the top, and I will, if I choose to do so, I will skim it off. That's about 3/4 ready now. And I'm going to start right now, guys, adding my onions and green peppers. Like I said I would. And these are going in right now. And I'm going to stir it around as well. Maybe you can see that, maybe? Yes. I'm done with this. I'll use a spoon now to do my results in terms of stirring it in. Okay. And I'll start adding my seasoning. Salt and pepper and all the other stuff I told you. This is all to taste. My coarse ground pepper. Let people see me shake, 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 and shake, shake about 5 different times in there. Might even put some more depending on what it tastes like when I'm done. I'm going to put just a little bit of cumin in here, a little bit, a smidget. And then I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. Sometimes I use granulated. This is garlic salt. Sometimes I use granulated garlic. I don't know why. For some reason today I'm not going to. Because I've used both. Not too much, okay? And a little bit of that red pepper I told you about. A little cayenne, not too much, because I don't like spicy food, and neither does my wife. A little spicy in there. And one of the other things I haven't talked about, and it's no big deal, I'm right behind the camera now, is sugar. And you're probably saying, now, why are you going to ruin it with sugar? I won't. I'm just going to put just a smidget, and I don't know who came up with that word, of sugar in this. I think it cuts the acidity of those tomatoes. And so you really, really, really won't taste the sugar at all. So you're not going to have a sweet taste, so don't be afraid of that. But I won't be throwing that bay leaf in there until I get my liquid in here. And this is looking good. And I don't know what I told you that I'm probably going to use some beef paste in here too, for that beefy flavor. And I always use this. I'll use about 2 heaping tablespoons of this in here, in addition to my beef stock, which is what I'm going to be adding to it too. But for now, I'm going to add my tomatoes. You say tomato, I say tomato. I know that sounds corny. This is a petite. They call petite. You can use any tomatoes you want. They don't have to be petite. I don't know why I got petites, but they are. And I'm going to put 1 can first. And that is a 14.5 ounce can. Two of those. I'm going with 2 of those. I've got some tomato paste over here as well. I'm going to call this a tablespoon, and I'm going to do a couple of these in here, okay? That's a real heaping one. That's about a tablespoon and a half, guys, right there. Okay? That's about a tablespoon and a half. I'm going to hold with that for now, too. So a tablespoon and a half, and I got to remember what it is so I can remember what I got to write down for ingredients here. And I will remember, so there you have it. That's looking good. It's the beginnings of chili con carne. And I add the beans, I think. All right, all you're gonna see now is some good old time cooking at about medium high. And that's kind of what it looks like right now, of course. And now I'm going to start adding my chili powder. Any degree of chili powder you want to use, and any kind of chili powder you'd like to use. Some of it obviously is very spicy with heat. I won't go back through the old, I don't like spicy stuff. So anyway, I'm just gonna sprinkle some chili powder in it. I like a lot of chili powder. I'm gonna say that's a tablespoon and a half, right? I might even add more as I go along once I taste it, because again, guys, it's all to taste, all right? All right. A couple of times back I made chili, and the folks that ate it suggested I go into some chili contest. I don't do contests, but they had well intentions. So I'm going to sprinkle a little salt in here right now. Not a whole lot. Kind of building it up as I go. That's probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon for God's sake. Now I'm going to come into that sugar. You can watch this now. I'm just going to shake with the sugar. Hopefully you can see that over the steam. Hit a little bit, start it. That's it. It's all the sugar I'm going to put in there. Believe it or not, that makes a difference. It's not sweetening it, and I think it cuts the acidity a bit of those tomatoes. A little bit of my beef stock. I corrected myself, but I tell you what, if I didn't have any beef stock, I would use chicken stock. Okay, I'm putting about 1.5 cups. That's about 1.5 cups right there, as I start to build this thing up with my beans and all that stuff. Okay. I think I've got all my spices in there. Yes, I got 2 bay leaves here. I got one that's broken already. I need to get this one here, even though it's probably going to break as well. But typically I try not to break them before I put them in there. So I got 2 bay leaves, and I'm going to just drop those in there. Kind of gingerly stir that around until they get underneath the liquid. I also won't be adding my beans, guys, until this thing is about 3/4 ready to do what it's got to do in terms of finishing it, okay? I don't want to cook the beans. The beans are already done. I'm also not going to, excuse me, I'm also not going to drain the beans. Turn this down to simmer and cover it and leave it alone and let it cook. And I'm going to let it go for probably, I'm going to let that go. Find the right lid. I'm going to let that go for probably 35, 40 minutes. Just let it simmer, 35 or 40 minutes, just like that. So, okay guys, I'm back with you. It's been about 30 minutes on this simmer of this ground beef and all the other goodies that's in here for my chili. And I've got about that much. I don't know, I hope you can see that. I've got about that much. Well, I don't want to tip it too much, because you know what'll happen if I do that. We'll have one of those accidents I talked about. Anyway, so that's cooked down real nice. I think what I'm going to do here, guys, too, I've got a light and a dark kidney bean. I'm going to put the entire amount, liquid and all, I mentioned that to you earlier, in here. I'm going to watch that consistency, meaning I've actually got 4 cans total, that if I want to use all 4, I can and will. That's 2 so far. And I'm going to kick the heat up a little bit here. I can get a little more heat, so I can get not really a rolling boil. Just want to get it hot because I just put those beans in there, as you know, like a room temperature. I can see now I'll add another can at least anyway. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but it's got pretty good consistency. I hope you guys can see that. Anyway, that's looking pretty good. But I'm going to do 2 now. I'm going to dump 1 more can of beans in here, because I've got enough volume in here. I don't want to get it too thinned out rather. But there's only two of us, and I don't really know who I'm gonna bring some little dishes of chili to if I have way too much. And I'm trying to stay indoors as much as I can. I'm sure you guys are too, and hopefully this is after the fact with the stay indoors deal, okay? So I'm gonna drop another can though in there, and I'll make this another light one. So now I've got 3 cans. So just watch the ingredient list. I will have all of this in that ingredient list for you to the final product here, if you will. That's still looking good to me. And I'm gonna stir it up as I'm doing it. I'm gonna taste it here. And again, it's all to taste. I might be adding a bit more salt. I might even put a little bit my chicken base in here. Excuse me, not chicken base, beef base. I mentioned chicken stock earlier and mentioned if I didn't have any beef base, I'd use chicken stock. You don't use that much of it anyway, and it's not gonna taste like chicken, okay? So there's other applications that I wouldn't use it if it was in the reverse and I needed a chicken flavor. I certainly wouldn't use beef though, but the chicken won't hurt at all. I've actually done that on occasion, all right? So I'm gonna stir that up a little bit. I think I put about 2 teaspoons of that beef base in here. And when I say beef base, sometimes I get goofy when I say beef base, beef stock. But this one is the roasted beef base. I hope you can see that with the glare on it. Maybe, don't get dizzy, like I'm getting dizzy. Anyway, that's what I use. And I put a little bit of that in here. So now I'm gonna taste it. See what it tastes like. I got my heat coming back a little bit where I want it. And that chili looks good. I see my bay leaf just poked through and looked at me there just a second ago. Let me taste this. It's got very good consistency as well. Good color and the whole deal. So we're gonna see what that tastes like. I'm saying because that means it's good. I'm going to not put anything else in it at all. I thought I might have wanted to put more chili in it, chili powder, but I'm not going to. It's right where I want it to be right now. So, anyway, kind of maybe tilt it so you can see it a little bit. I don't know what that's going to do for you, but that's what it looks like as it continues to cook. I'm gonna leave this simmer here for another 15 minutes maybe. Once it gets to the simmer, I'm gonna let it go for about another 15 minutes. I'm gonna shut the heat off, and that chili is done until I'm ready to plate it up. Chili looks really, really good. Really, really, really scrumptious. I mean, I don't know whether you guys can see this or not. Don't tilt it too far, and you know what that is, but it looks really, really, really good. So, anyway, I did take I told you earlier I would take the bay leaves out of here. And you should do that if you make yours and you put some bay leaves in whatever you put bay leaves in. But I did take those out. I wanted to show you that. The one that was chipped was already broken off, so I didn't have to worry about another piece being in there. I know that was already chipped, okay? So I'm gonna plate this up. And it's got great consistency. I don't know that I changed anything. Might add to, I heated my bowls. I always heat my bowls, or heat my plates whenever I have an opportunity to do that. With any residual heat that might be in the oven or something. And so that's what I did with these little bowls here. They're hot, they're very hot. And as I plate these up, again, I think it's very good consistency. Got meat to a bean to a sauce ratio is very good, okay? I don't think that changed anything. You can do yours any way you want to do it, obviously, but I don't think that changed anything at all. So, we'll put that back for a moment. And then, the fanatic that I am, must wipe this off. And, okay. And to this, you can still see that, okay? To this, I'm going to add chopped cheddar cheese. Obviously, you can use whatever cheese you like on yours as well. Okay, guys? I just sprinkle a little cheese on top. Each one of them there. That's for that deal. And to that, I'll add a bit of sour cream as well. And this is just regular sour cream. and I'll just add a dollop. I like that word. I don't know what it means, but dollop, okay? I'll just add a dollop of cream here. And right there. And that's good enough for that one. Yeah, do the same thing for this one. Right there. All right, almost done, guys. And I sliced up some scallions or green onions, and I'll top them off here with these. And again, I just did those up a little bit ago, okay? I'll just sprinkle some of those on the top. Is that looking good or what? Does that look like you guys want to come and join me for dinner? Well, I certainly hope, guys, that when you make this for yourself and your family, that you guys will enjoy it as much as we're going to enjoy it. These two little cuties here are corn muffins that I'm going to be having to accompany this meal as well. I think maybe you can see those. These are corn muffins, okay? So anyway, I certainly hope, I certainly appreciate the fact that you joined my channel tonight. And please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you like this. And let me know what you think, and please share with others. And here's what the final dish looks like, and I think that looks really, really good, guys. We are really going to enjoy this dinner. So again, thank you so much again. And again, we're going to have this for dinner. And bye-bye for now from Cooking with Pouncy. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much again. Have a great evening.